national thick.
Coal seam gas. It's cleaner than regular coal, gives work to struggling communities, and it only costs one environment. In Queensland alone, over the next 2 decades, the number of coal seam gas wells are expected to expand from 4,000 to 30,000. So, since they're coming anyway, you might as well get to know the neighbour. G'day. One of the major issues with coal seam gas is just the tremendous amount of salt that it produces. Over the next 30 years, 30 million tonnes of salt will be produced. That's 10% of the total global production, and that is just in Queensland alone. But as my grandmother loves to say, you can never have enough salt.
Would you like some more?
Did I say stop?
CSG can contaminate groundwater. Recently, energy company Santos was fined for contaminating aquifers with uranium levels 20 times above safe drinking levels. Still tastes great though. Fuck. Experts believe we won't see any lasting effects done to groundwater until 30 years after peak use. And since there's no laws regarding the long-term monitoring of fracking sites, we'll never find out, because that'll be a problem for our children and our children's children and our children's children's children, unless our children are rendered infertile due to radioactive materials. I mean, it sounds easy. Say you don't want miners to tear up your land, then don't let miners tear up your land. But it's not that easy. Turns out, when you buy a house, you're buying the top layer of the land the house sits on. Everything underneath still belongs to the government. Now, even though it's private land, companies are still able to come on that land and drill for gas regardless of the wishes of the owners. Sound confusing? Well, it certainly can be. Sometimes all these property laws can be so confusing, you just need somebody else to explain how it works.
If you don't want something to happen on your land, you ought to have a right to say no.
I had something to say about that yesterday, and again, I'm happy to let that stand.
I don't think Tony Abbott was suggesting for 1 minute that we should overturn hundreds of years of common law that's been well established in this country.
Thankfully, the Queensland Government have issued this handy guide on how to handle that situation respectfully. Hi, I'm a mining executive, and I want to access this farm to see if there's any of that sweet, sweet coal seam gas hiding underneath all of this pointless nature. All I need to do is let this farmer know that I intend to enter his land. I intend to enter your land.
I don't want you to.
Good to know. If there is a driveway or easy way to access the site, we are required to use that. But if not, we'll make our own fucking driveway. We need to make every effort to make sure the livestock are not disturbed. Hush, little cow, we're just trying to destroy your food source. That's all we're trying to do. The rest of you, get lost. Oh, come on. Come on, we're going to put a well there. Now that we're in the property, we don't want to leave. But we can't set up camp without first discussing it with the person who owns the property. That would be absurd. I would like to camp here.
Rack off.
So we've agreed. Now I can camp here and mine as much as I want, provided I do my very best not to disturb the farmer's business. So if you could just go around my equipment, that'll be great. Smell that country fresh air.